We took at least 65 days, complete 65 days to understand the whole politics, the whole dynamics of the entire crisis that we are facing today in Manipur. Even in the first 2 weeks of May, when the incident happened, we were also in the dark. We felt in the very first place that it was a communal riot. It was a communal conflict between the Meiteis and the Kukis. But now it is crystal clear that this is not a conflict between the Meitei and the Chin Kuki narco terrorists or the Kuki groups or the Kuki community. It is rather a preemptive, a pre-planned act of aggression committed by the Chin Kuki narco terrorist groups, supported by drug lords from across the border, supported by militant groups from across the border in Myanmar, supported by the Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Zoramthanga, supported and coordinated by those narco-terrorist syndicate groups who pose themselves to be a bona fide citizen of the state of Manipur, which is actually not in a true sense. Supported and coordinated by the so-called Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, whose 100% members of the said group, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, are not the indigenous people of Manipur. What a lie! They lie in such a way that they don't feel ashamed to call themselves as indigenous people. I'm planning to send a dictionary book. A book from Webster, a book from Oxford, a book from Cambridge, and to let them find the word indigenous and its definition. Immigrants who arrived and settled in Manipur just 180 years back, they called themselves as the indigenous people of Manipur. This is the most shocking definition in the world. The first settlement of Kuki migrants in Manipur was recorded just in 1840s, and their official settlement was recorded in 1844. Till the year 1996. Till the year 1996. Do you know what? They have been celebrating Kuki Rising Day. And you know what is the celebration for? The celebration was to commemorate and celebrate the then King Maharaj Gambhir Singh, the Meitei ruler, for letting them settle in Manipur in 1944. They have been celebrating that since 1996, till 1996. But today, they call themselves and their movement as Anglo-Kuki War, which is not in the record of the Indian archives. Yes. When Lisipriya Kamuzam filed an RTI regarding the issue of this Anglo-Kuki War, the response was, there isn't any record of Anglo-Kuki War. And that is the lie number one they sell to the world. And the national media bought it in the first place. The national media bought it in the first place because the lies are very cheap, easy to buy. The second lie is when they give the name of their organization as Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum. People from 180 years cannot be the indigenous people of Manipur. They are migrants. They are settlers. Nothing more than that. But in 1960s, there is another wave of Kuki migrants. They are also not indigenous people. They are known and recognized as the refugees in Manipur. And I'm not just saying that. I am bringing in all the necessary documents so that our esteemed national media, our esteemed media of the nation should not be misled by all such lies and lies. Here is the document. If any media wants to authenticate, verify it, you can just check it out. This is the document from the Manipur State Darbar. It is before pre-independence of India, pre-independence of Manipur. It is during the Manipur rule. In this Darbar resolution, I will just come out with some 2-3 lines. Because today is the historic day where we are going to expose all the lies of the Kuki narco-terrorist groups, and we need not further argue with them in future again. Let them bark anywhere in the world. Truth will prevail. Standing order, it is written here in the part 2. Standing order of President Manipur State Darbar, issued by Mr. T.S. Sharp. In his order reads, Kukis in the Nagar areas in Manipur are aliens and refugees. What more do you need? This Darbar resolution is above the Constitution of India according to Article 362. Do you know that? The Constitution of India will uphold all acts and agreements prior to the enactment of the Constitution of India. If there is any rule or act which has been passed by the then ruling government or the king or the any institutions, and as per that act, this Darbar resolution or Darbar document is as valid as the Constitution of India, and it says that they are aliens and refugees. Mr. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙊𝙖, one of the most eminent, which is the most eminent and the most celebrated Naga politicians of Manipur, one of the indigenous tribes of Manipur, one of the indigenous ethnic communities of Manipur. Mr. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙊𝙖 wrote in the same Darbar agreement and records that the government of India agreed to the requisition of 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙊𝙖, an eminent Naga leader, to grant the Kuki Relief Fund for refugee fund under memo number P3/9 of 1966 of Finance Ministry of Home Affairs Government of India, and payment made to the Kukis by the state government of Manipur. And the payment was made on 28 February 1966 for the settlement of Kuki refugees. This is the fact. So I hope the whole world now needs to convince and accept that the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, the name itself is null and void. They don't have any legal credibility. Now I will come with the lie number 2. What does the lie number 2 says? You must all be aware of when the first violence broke out on 3rd of May. What did they say? It is a tribal solidarity rally against Meitei's scheduled tribe High Court order for recommendations. Right or wrong? And what did they say now? After that, the rally was organized against the Meitei's demand for scheduled tribe, right? But when we look at the timeline of the event, starting from 10:30 in Churachandpur, when the rally passed through every forest offices, they burned down all the forest offices they passed through. Is the forest office related with scheduled tribe demand of Manipuri, Meitei? How could they burn the forest offices? Because they are the encroachers of the forest. As per the British report, It has been recorded that the Chin Kuki communities in Manipur is the biggest enemies of forest. It is on record. I didn't say that. Records say that. They burned all the forest offices in Bwangmul village, Mata village, Saikot village, Kambai, all these forest offices, Molam village, Singat Mission Bank, Kotlian village, every forest offices is being burned down during the rally, which they call Tribal Solidarity Rally. This is their lie number 2. Now let's come to lie number 3. They write to the several international forums. You know, this is ridiculous. The height of Kuki lies, Chin Kuki narco-terrorist lies. You know what? When they write to the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, they say they are the lost tribe of Israel. They say they are the Manasseh. They are the Manasseh tribes. They also say that at the same time, when they say they are the Kuki Manasseh people, they also say that they are the Kiratas of Mahabharata. Which one is it? Both cannot be same. Otherwise, the Israel and the Indian Mahabharata should be in the same epic. But they claim in both sides. When they write to the United Nations, what did they do again? As per the suspension of operation agreement, as per the suspension of the operation agreement in the preamble, what did they write? They will abide by the Constitution of India, the laws of the land, and the territorial integrity of Manipur. Right? They write here in the preamble of the suspension of operation agreement by all those Chin Kuki narco-terrorist groups. But do you know what did they write to the United Nations? You will be shocked to know. They write to the United Nations that integrating all Kuki Chin territories of Chin state of Myanmar, Burma, Chittagong Hill tracts of Bangladesh, Mizoram of India, and Kuki Hills in outer Manipur respectively to be merged with one of the most friendly countries in Southeast Asia. They want an independent nation when they write to India, or when they write to the United Nations. When they write to the Israel, they say they are the lost tribe of the Israel. And when they sign an agreement with the Chin Kuki narco-terrorist group with the government of India, they say they will abide by the territorial integrity of Manipur. What a blatant lie the Chin Kuki narco-terrorists are spreading. What a blatant lie. This is not being spread by few people. These are spread by prominent people who pose themselves to be the elite group of the Chin Kuki communities, like Kamkwan Swan, professor of Hyderabad University, the retired IRS officer Mr. Han Singh, the Kuki leaders like Mr. David, Mr. P.S. Hawkip, and everyone. They are spreading such lie in such a duplicity mode. I think that is why I often say to all our people across the nation, the lies of the Kukis has become a new truth in India. The lies of the Kukis has become new truth in India. And how far are we going to buy this lie? And it took 70 days, 65 days for us to come out with all these lies. Now I will come up with another lie. It's a bunch of lies, you know. And that is why they have been spreading all across the nation for how many days? 60 days. And every meeting was filled with anxiety and confusion. How these lies are spreading so fast and quick. Because lies are cheap, people buy it very easily. Now let me come with another very important thing. This is a notification from the government of Nagaland. You might have heard of, in Manipur now we have around, it's yet to be ascertained, but officially 2,147 illegal immigrants have already been detected in the first phase. Another 718 been detected recently. This is during this turmoil situation. We are expecting more. We are expecting thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants becoming the citizen of India. And we have already come across certain reports where fake Aadhaar card making offices, agencies were busted in More, in Chandel and Churachandpur. You know it. It was all in the media before the month of May, I think. It is their character. Enter, sneak in inside the territory of Manipur, make him adopt by one of the village chief, teach 2 or 3 Manipuri dialect, make fake Aadhaar cards, enter their name in the voter list, then they become the scheduled tribe community of India. Then the constitution jumps in and gives them all the protections, all the privilege, all the welfare schemes, or the indigenous people like Baichai. And one very prominent example is here in my hand. This is during the violence in Manipur. This is a notification from the government of Nagaland, Office of the Additional Deputy Commissioner, 𝙀𝙀𝙀 𝘽𝙇𝘼𝙏 Nagaland. You know what this orders is? You all will be surprised and you'll shocked to know this notice. It reflects their character. Those illegal immigrants' true character. It writes, it has come to the notice of the undersigned, the Additional Deputy Commissioner 𝙀𝙀𝙀, Mr. P. James Shaw, that some displaced Kukis from Manipur had approached CSC operators for change of address in their Aadhaar. Therefore, it is directed to all Aadhaar operators, Common Service Center operating under 𝙀𝙀𝙀 subdivision, not to entertain change of address in Aadhaar documents. It may lead to future complications. The Nagaland government says that they are trying to change their address in Nagaland again because Manipur, they are not allowed to change further in Manipur. They are fleeing to Nagaland and they are trying to change their, and the Nagaland government is very, cautious about that. So this is their character. In Manipur, they have been going on like this for past 30 years. For the past 30 years. Now, let me come with this letter again. Yes, it's here. The chairman of 𝙀𝙗, Zomi Revolutionary Army, one of the key signatory in the suspension of operation group Government of India, with the Government of India. This is a letter from the Ministry of Home Affairs sent to the government of Manipur on 4th of June 2019. Do you know what did the letter say? The letter says that Mr. Phonglampho Guite, the chairman of 𝙀𝙗, who is presently having a political dialogue with the government of India in India. He was an elected MP, Member of Parliament in Myanmar in the year 1990. Okay? What more surprising is, in 1995, he was an MP in 1990. In 1995, he became the citizen of India. and he even possesses foreign Indian passport. Is it possible for a foreign national to become an Indian citizen in just a term of 5 years? No. So what procedures has he applied for? What procedures as per the Citizenship Act he has undergone to become the citizen of India? And this letter is being sent from the Minister of Home Affairs in 2019 to the government of Manipur to seek explanation as to how he became the citizen of India. So likewise, there are thousands and thousands of people from across the border who has come in and become the citizen of India like this. And because of this, they are the one who are waging war against the indigenous people of Manipur. They are the one who are waging war against the Meitei, war against the government, because they want to bifurcate the Kuki-dominated so-called hill areas of Manipur, merge with the state of Mizoram, merge with the Chin state of Myanmar, and form their Jalingam, the Jau land, the Kuki land. Are we going to let that happen? At any cost. Therefore, that is why Kokomi's position is, even if heaven falls, no separate administration to Chin Kuki narco terrorists. My one last very important point, sir, issue a press statement saying that the Meitei, by targeting the Kuki people, has broken the Moirang Treaty. They said it as a treaty. So I read all the pages of 𝙀𝙧𝙋𝙀 𝘽𝙇𝙀, where is Moirang Treaty. I found one page of Moirang Treaty, which is actually not a treaty. Let me read this in Manipuri as it's written, because for a better understanding, and I will explain in English for the nation to know again. The so-called Moirang Treaty, which they say, which they exaggerated as if, you know, the Kuki is one political entity and the then ruler of Manipur is another political entity, and there is a kind of treaty, political treaty. 𝙀𝙧 𝙀𝙀 records in such a way that Tareni Ningthoktabada Maharajna Moirangda 𝙀𝙀𝙀 𝘽𝙇𝙀. They went to the king then went to Moirang to make a promise. To make a promise with the Awang Hau. Nipani Leva Popada Ningthem Mamangda. Ningthem means our then ruler, Chandrakiti. Ningthem Mamangda 𝙀𝙀 𝙀𝙀. The 𝙀𝙀, the old Kuki people, the native Kuki